Welcome to Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Graham O'Brien, and in today's news we have police spotlight hunting, council shows us how not to drive, Tasman has a plan, and every dog has his day. Hunting has come under the spotlight as Nelson-based police warn landowners about an increase in illegal hunting in rural areas after several sheep carcasses were found recently in a forest near Waiti. Police would like to hear from anyone who has lost black-headed sheep in recent weeks. There has been reports of spotlighting in the Dovedale area, and it is believed the people involved are using silencers and possibly have access to night vision equipment. Sergeant Crawford said that people wandering around in the dark with firearms in areas they are not authorised to be in is a huge risk for other members of the community and will be taken very seriously. Since January this year, Nelson Police have revoked 2 firearms licences for unlawful hunting. Anyone who has information about people involved in illegal hunting should call their local police station. This week, Nelson played host to demonstrations with some spectacular road safety lessons involving fast cars, cut-out figures, fake blood, and held in local neighbourhoods across the city to help slow drivers down and educate pedestrians on keeping safe, particularly in built-up areas. This series of neighbourhood park gatherings were held in the evening so residents could come along to enjoy the demonstrations while indulging in a picnic tea. Some of these demonstrations were well attended. Run by the Nelson City Council, an expert driver was brought in to show how far a car can travel with and without ABS braking at different speeds when the driver hits the brakes in an emergency stop situation. We sent our cameraman Ray to film some of the event at Tahuna Nui.
Here it comes. That's pretty quick. Better shout stop!
Tasman District Council has adopted and released its long-term plan 2015 to 2025 consultation document and is seeking public comment on it. The LTP consultation document focuses on the 5 key issues facing the council as it plans ahead for the district from the present into the future. Chrissy Small spoke with Mayor Richard Kempthorne about the plan and how people can find out more.
I'm talking with Richard Kempthorne, Mayor of Tasman District Council, about the long-term plan. Now it's been released and I believe it's now available for public consultation. Richard, tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, an interesting thing, probably the key outcomes is we've been working on the long-term plan in detail for a year, but we've actually been looking at a new direction for probably 2 to 3 years, and that is looking at bringing down rates increases, reducing them, and also reducing our reliance on debt. So we spent a lot of time as a council working on this, and I think we've got to a great outcome, and that is that looking forward over the next 10 years, we've said to ourselves we want to put a discipline in that we're not going to have any year within that 10-year where rates increases are more than 3%, and that's a lot less than we have done in the past. On average, if you look at the 10 years, we're looking at a 2.62% increase. Some years it gets up close to 3, some years lower, but that's a great outcome in itself. But in addition to that, the previous long-term plan, which was from 2012 to 2022, suggested that if we did all the projects we would get out to $311 million debt. And we've re-looked at what we're doing, we've looked at cost savings in every area, and we've looked at our capital works program and reduced it. And we're now looking at the end of this long-term plan, so that's 2015 to 2025, if we follow right to the end, we would have a debt of $108 million. So it's a huge reduction in the use of debt, and it's a significant reduction in rates increases. And that doesn't mean that rates increases aren't a challenge, because we know that they are and we'll continue to work on that, but it's a huge change from where we've got. One of the key projects that we've been talking about is the Waimea Community Dam. In the consultation document that we're talking about, what we've got is $25 million in there to help fund the Waimea Community Dam, and that is designed to fund the community water supply. Without the dam we're going to be significantly short, and also it funds the storage for an increased environmental flow. What it doesn't fund is the cost implication for irrigators. So there's going to be a separate discussion which the irrigators have said we want to actually have that amongst ourselves, between ourselves, and with perhaps Crown Irrigation Limited. And so that is occurring separately to the council. So we have the council process with 25 million in, and we have a separate process for irrigators. So this, we had various proposals for the Waimea Community Dam, and that's where we've landed at this stage. And just talking about how the consultation occurs, we've got a consultation document, and following law changes with government, they've said we don't want you to put out a draft plan with everything in it. We want you to put out a consultation document which is easier to read with the key issues. So that's what we've done this year. It's a lot shorter. Hopefully it's straightforward to read. It does talk about lower rates, lower debt, Waimea Community Dam. It talks about coastal hazards as one of the key issues that we need to address. So in our view, we've done a huge amount of work, and we've got ourselves to a really good place. It's probably better than we thought we would get to, and we're now looking forward to comment from the community.
Great. Now, of course, I having talked to a few people out there, there's all sorts of controversy over the dam prospect, and people saying, oh, it sounds like a foregone conclusion, whereas others go, well, why aren't they looking a bit further afield? The Gowan River has an unlimited amount of water. People are not understanding why a dam is the be-all and end-all. This is an opportunity for them to put their comments through.
It's an opportunity for them to put their comments through. Also, I think what they need to do is look into the background information. The Gowan River, for example, the Buller River, that's been talked about in the past. It's far more expensive. It would be a lot greater cost. Some have said opportunity to generate power, but there's a clip-on possibility with the dam for generation of power, and the reality is it doesn't raise a lot of money, and this is all about making it affordable. So we figure this is the best option so far. I've talked before about the irrigators having a separate discussion. One of the big themes that came through from the community is we don't want to subsidise private landowners, so we've taken that out, and that's being done separately to the council. It's not being funded by ratepayers.
Okay, so how do people get hold of the long-term plan, and where do they put their comments?
So the consultation document's now out for submission. People can pick that up either online, or if they want to come into the council offices anywhere in the district or the libraries, they can get a CD or a DVD with all of the supporting documents, because what we've got is the consultation document. There's also some other key documents, the infrastructure strategy, the financial strategy, and there's also all the asset management plans which have got all the lists of projects to be done throughout the district throughout the 10 years. So if people want to, there's a lot of information available, and they're welcome to send through either a written copy or an electronic an email submission to the council, and if that could be in by the 20th of April, that's the time frame that we're working to for consultation.
We asked some people in the Tasman area of Richmond if they were going to make comment on the future of their local governance.
Tasman District Council has released its long-term plan 2015 to 2025 and is seeking public comment on it. They want to keep rates down and reduce debt. What local issues would you comment on?
Well, I think I'm more than satisfied with the council at the moment, the way they've made Richmond such a popular place. The long-term plan seems all right. To keep rates down is most important. Yeah, I actually haven't much of a problem with them, so we're more than happy to live in Richmond.
I'm concerned about that dam that they're thinking of building, how much it's going to cost.
Well, that's good. Having rates the same obviously would be a big bonus. As a ratepayer, I don't really want them to be raised.
Probably the health in Nelson, the long waiting lists that people have to see specialists.
Not really. I just think that council should stick to what I call traditional council matters. I mean, I didn't agree with and voted against it. The building the shops down at the Mapua Wharf. This is not council business. I didn't understand that at all. councils should counsel, not do what they're not used to.
A Nelson man has been up on multiple charges in the Blenheim court this week. These charges have included failing to stop for police, assaulting a person with a blunt instrument, possession of methamphetamine, possession of a knife in a public place, unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of ammunition, and driving in a dangerous manner. Paul Bronson Walker, 41 of Nelson, was denied bail when he appeared on the charges in Blenheim District Court on Tuesday. He was arrested after a low-speed police chase on Monday night and was found with a school-aged child and a loaded gun in his car after ramming a patrol car twice in Blenheim. Judge Denise Barry said Walker was on bail on an unrelated matter. He had a history of breaching court orders and posed the risk of offending while on bail. Walker entered no plea to the charges and was remanded in custody until the 30th of March. Plastic rubbish is something we try to avoid in our national parks, with 770 kgs of rubbish retrieved from the waters around Anchorage and Adele Island in the last big beach clean-up. However, this Sunday the 22nd of March, a group of youths are planning to take hundreds of plastic bottles into the Able Tasman in the form of kayaks manufactured at the Museum of Technology and Transport in Auckland, entirely from upcycled materials. The Plastic Bottle Kayak Team is a group of young people who are raising awareness of plastic and other forms of pollution. They have already paddled their kayaks 100 kilometres down the Whanganui River and will embark on a 3-day adventure in the Able Tasman beginning this Sunday. Does an event named Dogs Day Out sound like something your canine pal might enjoy? I talked to Donna from the SPCA, who is running this Doggy Fun Day, to find out what it's all about, and discovered some current furry feline news for families as well. Thanks for sparing a bit of time to talk to us, Donna. We know how busy you are here at the SPCA. You have an event coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about it, please?
Yeah, sure. We've got the Dogs Day Out coming up on the 29th of March. It's down in Isle Park. It's a great fun day. It's kind of a bit of a family event. So we invite everybody to come along. We put on heaps of entertainment and heaps of activities for the kids to do. We've got face painting and bouncy castles and rides. And there's going to be a great dog show display by the Nelson Dog Training Club. And they do jumps and tricks and things, and it's going to be a really fantastic thing for people to watch. And then we get people to bring their dogs along, and we do a bit of a fun dog show, so anybody can enter. It's like just prettiest girl and most handsome boy and best trick and most like your owner. So there's heaps of entries that you can enter and heaps of great prizes to be won. So it's a dog's day, and it's also a great family day, and it's a great way to support the Nelson SPCA, and we just love to see everybody there.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. Most like your owner sounds like a good category to go in. Do you get many entries usually?
Yeah, we do, and we get some really interesting ones. Some great dogs which look absolutely like their owners. It does seem to be a bit of a trait that people do seem to adopt dogs that look like them. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
That sounds like great doggy fun. And how about the feline part of things going for the SPCA? How's that for you?
Yeah, so we're really busy with cats at the moment. We're almost full to our capacity, really. We've got almost 100 cats here at the moment looking for homes. So that's a lot of homes to try and find in the Nelson region. So yeah, we've got lots of beautiful cats here. Lots of kittens still available for adoption. All our cats and kittens they're desexed, they're microchipped, they're vaccinated, and they're fleed and they're wormed. So absolutely everything's been done. And we're doing a great special on them at the moment where we're offering people a free starter kit to get them going. It's something, a bit of an incentive to try and help some of the cats find good homes because, like I say, we've got a lot at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, certainly a hard one. And I mean, this is a seasonal thing. Is this why you've got so many at this time of year?
Yeah, it certainly is a seasonal thing. It's well into kitten season at the moment. So all the mums seem to be left behind at the moment. So we've got lots of mum cats that have had their kittens, and their kittens have all gone off to great homes, and now they sort of just sit here and wait in limbo, which is a bit of a shame, really, because they've been fantastic mums and they're generally really nice cats. So yeah, come and meet them.
Hey, thanks, Donna. Thanks for all the hard work you do up here looking after the animals that people seem to forget about, and thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for having us.
So don't miss out, go help them out, and go to the Nelson SPCA to get yourself a cuddly critter. There's a great selection to choose from. And finally, just out this week is the news that the Tasman Rugby Union's Rugby Committee has so far confirmed 22 signings for the Tasman Marco's 10th anniversary squad, to be coached by former All Blacks Kieran Keane and Leon McDonald. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region. Spectacular road safety demonstrations, complete with fast cars, cut-out figures and fake blood, are being held in local neighbourhoods across Nelson City to help slow down drivers. The series of neighbourhood park gatherings are being held in the evenings, and residents are encouraged to come along with a picnic tea and enjoy the demonstrations. Supported by the Nelson City Council, these demonstrations will show how far a car will travel with and without ABS braking at different speeds when the driver brakes. They will also bring home to drivers the consequences of speed in a built-up area, and to children the dangers of stepping out in front of a moving vehicle. In addition, there will be displays from Citizens Advice, Emergency Management, Neighbourhood Support, and 2 interactive displays demonstrating blind spots for reversing drivers and how difficult it is for a truck driver to see cyclists. Some roads will be closed for these demonstrations from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Check with the Council for more information. Tipahai Street between Tukaka Street and Motueka Street on Thursday the 19th, and the picnic is at Nelson Intermediate Lawn. Adifai Crescent from North intersection with State Highway 6 to Rainbow Drive on Friday the 20th, and the picnic is at Corder Park.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm Harris from the Facilitators. We now look after sales for mainland TV, radio, Sky and online. New Zealand On Air's latest Colmar Brunton survey confirms mainland's large multimedia audience. If you're in business or want to put a message out to everyone in the Nelson Tasman region, plus nationwide on Sky or worldwide online, please give me a call or see our website at www.mainlandtv.nz.
.1 The Shed.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Mai Tai quiz is set on the new section of the Mai Tai Walkway, and you can do it as a fun Easter holiday activity with the whole family and be in to win a prize by matching the native plants to the numbered locations. This runs through till the 17th of April. For more information, please go to the link below. The exhibition of contemporary visual artworks titled But I Can't Wash It Off, etc. by local artists at the Refinery Art Space, created by Nick Haig, goes through to the 28th of March, every day except Sundays. In the temporary Suter Art Gallery at 28 Halifax Street, the exhibition Min Kisi, Art and Belief in West and Central Africa, a presentation of masks and statues from West and Central Africa delivering messages about culture, traditions, histories and beliefs. It is running until the 12th of April. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Watson. I'd like to welcome today to Nelson Malcolm Harris. Last year, New Zealand on Air employed Colmar Brunton to do a survey to find out if all the regional stations were going to continue to get their funding for news. The regional stations all came up very well in the survey, including Mainland, and as a result we got more funding for our news to continue. In the process of that, Malcolm and Tony from Christchurch saw the survey results and thought these were quite outstanding and approached us, and now the facilitators in Christchurch are looking after ourselves. So today I'd like to have a talk with Malcolm about that, Malcolm Harris, but there is also a big story about CTV which we'll come to in a moment. Welcome to Nelson.
Thanks, Gary.
You've been out and about talking to our customers.
Been out and about and preaching the good word.
All on board.
All on board, of course. It was very much so, and you know, fantastic result from Colmar Brunton. Not forgetting, of course, that it wasn't commissioned by Mainland Television.
No.
It was commissioned by New Zealand on Air to obviously for allocation of funding.
Yeah.
And so the results of that came out, and Mainland Television came out very well.
Yeah, we did, and it was a big surprise to us of how many people were actually watching.
Yeah.
And a lot of the radio stations and other media that are going around with surveys, they've actually paid for it.
That's right.
So you've got to kind of say, well, you know, but this is totally independent. This is New Zealand on Air.
Correct.
Funds it to see whether we get funding. And then because they approved our funding quite quick, we actually said, oh, that's great, thank you very much, and great to continue working with you folks, and asked for a copy of the survey, and we were pleasantly surprised. So it's all gone to from there, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you know, one of the good things is that from an advertiser's perspective, there is now something tangible that they can actually hang their hat off as far as audience is concerned.
Yes.
Because I mean, you know, the national television channels have constant surveys, and you know, they can afford to do so. But regional television doesn't tend to have surveys too often, and so it's a bit of hit and miss as to who's watching.
Yes.
Now we've got something that's you know, completely tangible that we can use insofar as numbers of people watching, where they watch, and how long they watch, etc.
And the point of difference, of course, is that when you have a television commercial, that commercial, the soundtrack is also broadcast on FM radio. It can go out on Sky nationwide. So if you're a business in Nelson where you are selling to all of New Zealand, then there is a wonderful opportunity there. Plus it goes online, goes onto our website, goes onto YouTube every day, and Facebook and social media, and God knows where else it goes.
Covers all bases.
But it all starts from that one advert.
Yep.
That then goes everywhere. And we're one of the few companies, the only ones we know in New Zealand, that are actually offering that service.
Absolutely. And of course television covers all of the emotions. You know, you've got visual, you've got the audio, you know, it's moving pictures, and you know, people, you know, can actually get really involved in the commercial because it is moving, you know.
Yes, exactly.
It's not still, and it's not just audio as you get with print and radio.
Well, it's worked so well for our customers over the years, and many of you probably see the same ads on year in, year out, and that's because it works so well for these folks. So I guess that's a testimony, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Of how well it goes.
And you know, the other thing is, of course, that it's reasonably priced. You know, it's not priced. Television. When people think television, they think expense.
Yep.
It's not that at all. And you know, it's quite accessible to small to medium businesses as well as large businesses as well. And you're getting to your region. You know, people in your region, and that's the key thing.
And it's the electronic media is where the future is, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and we know that. Now, just moving on from that, if you are in business or you would like to get a message out to the entire community, give Malcolm a call, and the information's on the screen, and he'll look after you there fine. Now, Malcolm, you used to be the sales manager for CTV in Christchurch.
I did indeed, yes, and very fortunate to still be with us today, really, in lots of respects. I started there back in the beginning of 2010, and of course went through you know, the February 22nd earthquake as well. Fortunately, not in the building. I was only 10 minutes out of the building, so I you know, I was actually, it's an interesting story there. My wife worked for the QE2 swimming complex, aqua complex, and she had to actually jump in the pool earlier that morning to help some gentleman out who was in a bit of distress. And so she rang me and said, you know, are you coming home for lunch? And I said, well, no, I'm not actually, as a matter of fact. But she said, can you come home and bring some, you know, dry clothing over to the pool? We just lived across the road from the pool, you got to understand. So she could have walked across the road and got it herself. So anyway, I said, yeah, well, okay, well, I will. But, you know, I've got a window of about a half an hour. And so I left the building at 20 to 1. And so, as everyone knows, at 12:51 was when the earthquake struck. So, yeah,
that's only minutes.
Only minutes.
Malcolm.
Yeah, very. I was only just within about 2 k's away from the building at the time.
Your wife saved your life.
Well, that's right. I'm probably going to be forever indebted to her, really, and she does remind me on the odd occasion as well. But it's very true. I mean, you know, we lost 16 very good people in that building that day. Ourselves, of course, a number of others as well in the building, but from our own business. You know, there was people fortunately out filming for varying things. You know, one was making a country program.
Was that Rob Coate Williams?
Rob Coate Williams making
nice guy, isn't he?
Rob's Country, which some people may see on television, and there are other cameramen and news reporters out at Hagley Park covering the Ellesmere, not the Ellesmere, the Ellerslie Garden Show. And a couple on leave. There was a couple that were across the road at a cafeteria picking up some lunch. There was one of our scheduled ladies was next door at the Lees Mills gym doing some exercise, and so she watched the building collapse from there. So, you know, people doing different things, but just fortunate to be out of the building at that time.
Was it Marianne's the only one got out?
And Marianne, our receptionist, was the only one of our staff that actually got out alive. And the reason for that, and once again, it's just so fortunate, is that someone had left the door open. It was a coldish day that day, and someone had left the door open. She came out from behind her reception desk to shut the door at the precise time that the earthquake struck, and so she was actually at the door already. Had she not have been at the door, I doubt whether she would have been able to get out.
And you were at the anniversary, the 4th anniversary last week?
Yes, so last Sunday we had the 4th anniversary, and we always celebrate that anniversary, and if it celebrates the right word, and remember those of our staff members that are no longer with us. We do that at the site, and of course that site's also visited by people who knew the other people in the building, and excuse me, the Japanese consulate came down in the morning, and they remembered their colleagues that passed away, and laid wreaths as well. And at 2 o'clock last Sunday we had a memorial service for our staff.
Right. And many of you may remember that on mainland we used to run many programs. Jo Giles, she used to run a real estate program and other programs. And of course our good friend Murray, he unfortunately was a casualty, and Joe and a lot of others there. Yeah. Lovely people. We used to go and have lunch with them, and knew them, you know, sort of on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's often said, you know, you don't know when you go to work in the morning that you may not come home. You know, I mean, it's just I feel very fortunate, but you know, I guess you know, you can't dwell on the fact that, you know, it could have been you. I mean, it's just one of those things, you know.
It's, life carries on.
Life carries on, unfortunately. But people say that, you know, time heals, and you know, you need to move on, and in some respects, I do agree with that. But you know, we've, as the remaining 12 staff members, we've made a pact that, you know, the 22nd of February is always going to be a day of remembrance for us, anyway.
Well, we were delighted to hear from you and Tony, and delighted that you're now part of the team here, and looking after the sales, and we look forward to a very long and fruitful relationship.
Thanks, Gary, and I look forward to catching up with these clients, your clients and ours now over the next months.
You're right. So that is Malcolm Harris, and he's from the Facilitators in Christchurch.
You can't touch this. Touch this.
Tune into Sunshine Radio, 87.8 and 107.5 FM.
Music hits so hard, can't touch this.